I think some of you have heard my earlier presentation on the ISA BTABoK. So BTABoK introduced what they call it focus area of IBAM, right? So if you can see here in this four corner, I mean imagine digital customer. So it's always imagine digital customer by default. And then the B actually is become digital business. So in order for us to serve digital customer, our business need to be digital, right? And then of course we need to achieve digital employee because we need to empower customer to do self-service, right? So instead of we always in the counter, there must be some sort of the automation that the customer can do. And of course, our business process all need to be digital. And the last part, the M, called maximize digital operation. So we always do continuous improvement, right? What are the area that we can reach certain higher maturity, right? So this is the concept of the IBAM. Okay, so of course I will go through all the so-called the layers of the BTABoK, right, in the subsequent slide. Okay, so imagine digital customer. I think I've highlighted that digital customer or digital citizen have a high expectation, right? Expect to be empowered, do self-service 24/7, consume the services from our business. Okay, and because of that, our business needs to be digital and our employee also need to be digital, right? So of course we can coexist and we deploy all the AI agent to make sure that our customer service are not interrupted just because we are not available. We need to go sleep, right? But customer could be traveling, could be at a different time zone. They expect the service to be provided at their convenient time, right? So we need to ensure that our system or solution achieve this IBA and of course M, continuous improvement. Yeah. So ISA, I think I highlighted is everything about digital advantage, right? Digital advantage means everything need to be digital in the today context. And of course, BTABoK tenets is that architects have opinions, right? Innovation happen at the edges, like this imagine, become, achieve, and maximize, right? Architect is the profession, right? So they call it with a capital P. Right, so I introduced the structure canvas approach, right? So structure canvas approach basically is the journey of architects, right? Typically, you engage with the stakeholders, you try to do elevator pitch. Basically, elevator pitch means to justify the value, to present the value of your technology investment, right? And you are using a lot of the canvas. So here is basically all the canvases, all the cloud actually here are the canvases being used, like SWOT, pastel, pain gain, outcome, business model canvas, right? Then after that, of course, we capture the client information. Then we develop a strategy scorecard, right? Then we do a benefit dependency network, right? And of course, we come up with a solution. And after that, we define the client, the business, and we map the client persona and also the jobs to be done, the engagement touch point. Then we look at the customer and solution features, and of course, we look at the benefit card. What are the benefit that we can gain from this investment? How would the customer buy more of our product and services? The context view, the benefit realization, the objective key results, and of course, roadmap canvas, right? Then after that, of course, we go get the finding. After we get the roadmap, we get the stakeholders. We need to have a stakeholder map, engagement map, and we ask for money, investment. Okay. Then after that, we got the money, we design the solution, we describe the architecture, then we deploy the solution, right? And eventually the business back, the cycle continue. Right, so if you remember the TOGAF, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, this is exactly the same. But this one, Asia using a lot of canvas, right? So this is one example of the service blueprint canvas, capability canvas, objective key result canvas. Of course, you can check all the canvases are available at this website. Yeah, and of course all the canvases are now open source. Open source means you can participate in the canvases. You can say, hey, this I think I want to add more information here, so you can do that, right? So they got the collaboration platform, allow anyone to contribute to even improve the canvas, architecture canvas. And all the canvases are interconnected, right? So it's concept, actually the concept similar with the architecture viewpoint. If you learn about about TOGAF, the meta model. So actually it's about architecture viewpoint, the template. So the one of the canvas actually can be represented by a couple of the viewpoint behind the scene and how are they connected. So the reason, of course, why we using canvas, I think presented in the next couple of slides. Okay, so why structure architecture canvas? I think first of all, many IT people or architect, I think we are all not interested in the documentation, huh? Because we think, oh, let's get the admin to write the documentation. So Canvas actually address this problem. Okay, so create architecture with the list documentation, architecture in a page, right? Architecture in one page. Yeah. Of course, promote facilitation, easy to facilitate in a multidisciplinary disciplinary team using Canvas. Of course, connecting concept, right? Not document together, so people can look and stare at the one terminal, a laptop or computer, right? Or if you have a projector, then you print there, then everybody can focus on the how the concept and the contents or the attribute are connecting to each other. Okay, and of course, we can drive the innovation because we can stimulate the innovation aspect of the architecture and conform with the of course what they call it structural or meta model, and also design thinking and pattern library, right? So the next few slide will highlight these five reason why structure architecture canvas, right? So the first one, list documentation tenet. So of course this one is should embrace rigorous decision making and clear communication, right? So with the canvas, I think everything in the one page, and you don't need to write a few paragraphs for people to read and get confused, right? Everything look at the one screen, architecture in the page. Okay, one page idea. Design of outcome are useful and can be maintained easily, right? So carry as little as possible in the repository for architect to function at their best. So that's basically the list documentation tenet. Okay. The next one is facilitation. So with the canvas, actually, of course, when you have the wall or if you don't use the computer, you can use sticky notes, right? So or you can just print it into the workbook and just everybody can just jot down the point. And of course, stakeholder driven approach, right? We put stakeholder in the middle of the matter. So always when we discuss about Canvas, we will invite the key stakeholders to get involved, right? So basically talking about their business. So the stakeholders don't need to go through the architecture training first in order to discuss with us. So we really bring the architecture to the ground, right? To discuss to the at the level of understanding with the stakeholders. Yeah. So this can lead to the extraordinary results as team stay focused on a single problem. Yeah. So in terms of the connecting concept, right? So of course, all the canvases are related and of course have the causal relationship. Huh? So for example, in the BMC, impact customer persona, also cause us to consider customer journey. So it's trigger another canvas, right? Connect to another canvas, impacts a user experience and stability, and of course, related to the service design blueprint. Yeah? So one canvas connect to the rest of the other canvases. If people ask, can you show me in more detail on this? Okay, I can bring you to another canvas. Yeah. And of course, driving innovation, right? So filled with the opportunity, then of course we can do the innovative ideas because people can just add on a few two keywords or three keywords inside the canvas, and that one can spark discussion or more detailed study. Yeah, and of course they often create a spin-off epic business cases and innovation in terms of structural conformance, right? So basically, it's about they have a relationship among all the canvases. So everything is templatized, right? So of course, they got the quality attribute scenario. So this is QATT is quality attribute scenario, rigorous design record, architecture significant requirement, right? That detail illuminates difficult to solve structural problem early. So basically, something that the problem that we foresee down the road, we bring it that upfront. That's I think the main objective of architecture. So Canvas just put this format uh, and present it to us much earlier before we anticipate thing to happen. Yeah. And of course, combined with design thinking and pattern library, yeah, optimizes business and engineering. So this is basically the thinking behind the structural canvas approach, right? So ISA has been promoting this structural canvas approach in the last 3 to 4 years, right? And only the last 2 years has been turned into the training courses. And we make it available and we basically use a scenario, a case study like just now, in this topic of 14. So each of the 14 module, right, about 2 or 3 canvases will be used, right? So you'll be using a lot already, around 20, 30 canvases in just one workshop. So you can get the feel, oh, this is how I can use the canvases. Yeah. So this example, I just give you example on the need approach benefit consideration canvas. So typically you'll be presented with the empty canvas, and of course there'll be a case study, right? There'll be case study, the workshop that you need to work on. So for instance, here like Tinker Coffee. So Tinker Coffee, you can think of the Starbucks or Coffee Bean, right? So what are the need, right? So basically, of course, the need to create a coffee shop in a box, right? So because they want to expand the franchises, right? So what is the model, right? So this is a headquarter, how other franchises can so-called also replicate your business. Of course, pay license, it's not trying to copy, right? So this is basically in terms of the business architecture aspect, right? Because even we are studying the solution architecture, we also need to understand the business, right? Then what are the approach, right? So we need to create a training set of training and business operation so that our new franchisee can be jumpstart quickly, right? So what are the so-called information they can have? What are the pictures? What are coffee, etc. And in terms of the benefit revenue for the franchisee, how much do they need, right? You need about 2.5 million, right, to deliver for delivery the capex, right? And of course annually to operate, right? OpEx, and of course year one 2.7, year two 1.2, and then of course your return on investment between 1 to 3 years, right? And of course your break even point in 2 years, your NPV 200K, your ROI 250% in 3 years. Okay. And of course, consideration competition. So we need to know whether we can bundle that with the commercial on the sale product and etc. So these are basically NABC canvas, right? So this is just an example. Of course, when after they agree with this, of course, we need to supplement this with the actual information or data. But at least this is where we put architecture in the place, right? Using the NABC canvas. Okay.